These are the world's 5 top spearfishing destinations. I've been really fortunate to get to explore some of the coolest spearfishing locations in the world, and today I'm gonna share with you my top 5. Stick around to the end because I promise you, number 1, located in the middle of the desert, is not something you'll expect, and we'll start right now with number 5. Number 5, the Bahamas.
A huge cluster of more than 700 tiny islands off the east coast of Florida. The Bahamas is known to have some of the clearest waters in the world, and while it's a fantastic vacation spot, it's also one of the world's most incredible places to spearfish. The huge shallow banks surrounding the islands create massive nurseries for juvenile fish that, when grown, all move out to the surrounding coral heads and steep drop-offs. Probably the most epic part of spearfishing the Bahamas is the abundance of trophy fish in shallow water. It is a perfect place for a beginner diver to learn to spearfish and get a real opportunity at shooting a trophy in super shallow water. Because there are so many fish, only primitive spearfishing gear is allowed, like pole spears and Hawaiian slings. Not allowing spear guns makes this area even more fun though, as shooting a 50-pound grouper with a pole spear is an absolute blast and not at all uncommon. Targets in the Bahamas include several grouper species, as well as the delicious, but definitely not brilliant hogfish. The Bahamas also has an abundance of lobsters, conch, and stone crabs that can all be harvested by relatively novice divers. There are so many islands in the Bahamas that all offer something just a little bit different, and if you haven't been spearfishing in the Bahamas yet, I promise you, put it on your list and you won't be disappointed.
Number 4, New Zealand.
Number 4 is New Zealand. Maybe not somewhere you might immediately think of to dive, but I assure you the landscape underwater is just as beautiful below the surface as above. New Zealand really has it all for spearfishing, with massive schools of colorful maumau for beginners to target, all the way to huge kingfish in the blue water. Be careful while out there hunting the kings though, as they live in the same zone as the giant mako sharks. The kingfish gather in massive schools in New Zealand and are so prevalent that we started targeting them with pole spears. While there, I was fortunate to land a 34-pound monster and set a new pole spear world record.
Middle of the blue, 400 feet of water on a pinnacle. So there's big predators like Marcos out here. So to get a kingy on a pole spear of that size out here, well done, buddy. Welcome to New Zealand.
New Zealand also has the elusive snapper that requires entirely new types of hunting techniques like snooping and making burley piles. While there, you might also run into the totally weird looking but delicious species like the giant boarfish or the John Dory. New Zealand really has it all underwater, and with 2 massive islands, there is guaranteed to be a ton more to explore.
Number 3 is Fiji.
Number 3 for my favorite spearfishing destinations around the world is Fiji.
It's amazing.
Definitely one of the most beautiful locations on the planet, both above and below the surface. With over 300 islands surrounded by crystal clear warm water and pristine coral reefs, it is literally a spearfishing paradise. I visited several times living with a remote village to target the dog-toothed tuna. The doggy is, in my opinion, the only worthy opponent when it comes to spearfishing. They're masters of wrecking gear, breaking you off in the reef, and getting destroyed by sharks. They will literally tear themselves apart to avoid coming home with you, but that just adds to the challenge. They're fairly abundant in Fiji and live along the reef drop-offs, and hunting them is one of my favorite types of diving ever because it requires the perfect combination of blue water diving and reef diving. You can drift along a long drop-off while waiting for that doggy drop in your flasher, but also doing deeper drops looking for those coral trouts, emperors, and speckled snappers. To land a monster doggy over here, a really good shot is needed, just like this one. The spearfishing is truly incredible in Fiji, but what really sets this destination apart is its people. The culture here is incredibly welcoming and truly built around the ocean. The locals are great divers and even better hosts, and if you visit them, you're guaranteed to go diving in their waters, but also probably be accompanied by them. Get off the beaten path in Fiji and you are almost guaranteed to find some epic spearfishing, incredible people, and a real adventure.
Number 2, Zanzibar.
A tiny island off the east coast of Africa. Zanzibar is truly a special place where island life blends with the wilds of Africa. Off of Zanzibar, there is some pretty epic spearfishing, but if you make it all the way out here, it's probably for one reason: Latham Island. Latham is an even tinier island located off the tiny island of Zanzibar and is known to hold the world's biggest dogtooth tuna. 2 of the 4 largest doggies ever landed were shot right here. This ledge is truly the home to absolute giant fish, like these giant trevally and schools of hammerhead sharks. I had several opportunities at monster doggies over here, but unfortunately was never able to seal the deal. These fish are so big and powerful that they literally laughed at me, broke my stuff, and happily swam off. Despite not landing any true giant doggies over here, I had a blast shooting jobfish, king mackerel, onos, and GTs. This is the one place that I truly lose sleep over and never stop thinking about the giants that got away. Guys, if you can make it over here, go visit Latham Island, go dive with extreme blue water spearfishing. I promise you will encounter giants, but whether you land them or not, that is up to you.
And number 1, located in the middle of the desert, Qatar.
Now, you may not think of the Middle East as a spearfishing destination, but you would definitely be wrong.
What are you doing today, Sammy?
We're going diving.
Are you excited?
Yeah, diving in Qatar. Who knew there would be such an amazing fishery here?
The diving here is truly world class, and the hospitality of the people is unrivaled. Qatar juts out into the Arabian Gulf and is surrounded by it on 3 sides. The water is super warm and much clearer than you might expect. I've been lucky enough to dive Qatar on 2 different occasions, and both times was truly shocked by the abundance of trophy fish. Other places in the world, bumping into a cobia or an African pompano or a king mac might be a great day, but over here in Qatar, they seem to swim around in schools. It really is shocking the abundance of massive fish in shallow water that I've never before seen a diver. There was also some totally new, kind of strange looking species like the halawayu. I was lucky enough to be shown around by some local pros, so I definitely got to see a side of Qatar that very few ever do. But if you ever get a chance to explore this region and get out for a dive, you are sure to be pleasantly surprised.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, click that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you next time right here on Ryan Meyer's Expeditions.